Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm just going to talk about a little bit of hiking I did with some of my children this past weekend. We kind of explored the area trying to get near this place called Zig Zag Ridge, which is east of McBride, west of Prince George. And it's this sort of series of peaks up here. If I scroll down here to the bottom, you can see on my screen here, this is Highway 16. And this highway is going to the left here would be towards McBride, to the right would be towards Prince George. And this little lake here would be, I believe, LaSalle Lake. So anyways, just to give you some perspective, this road here, I believe is called Loos Road, L-O-O-S. And so we kind of took that as our bearing. If I scroll in here, you can see where we did our little hike. There's this little pullout right here where we drove the truck into, just parked in this little gravel area. And you can see the blue lines, which is where we made our hike. You're going to see the video clip sped up, I don't know, 500 or 600 times. And essentially, I just want to kind of give a warning to everybody. If you want to get, we did not make it to the mountain. This is a fairly challenging trail, like very thick brush. But it's epic views up here. I will link to another video where another group of people made it to this ridge, and just fantastic views there. So maybe someday I'll retry this, but I just want to show through the video where you should not go. So we took sort of this road here like this. The GPS coordinates aren't exactly perfect. When we got to this fork in the trail here, probably should have went left. We went right, and I just want to warn everybody, taking this path is very thick brush, very swampy. We got to this part of this little creek that we had to cross, and it was pretty wide and fairly deep in cold water. And you just start to lose energy. We started to bushwhack through all this stuff here. And, you know, Google Maps is showing these clearings as kind of clear, but they're not clear at all. These maybe are like 5-10 years old, these pictures from Google Earth. But this is quite overgrown. So it's best, if you're going to do this trek up to Zig Zag Ridge, I would, I'll just show you here. We went zigzagging here, we went here, we hiked through the bush here, we went up to this point, and then had a discussion with my kids. It was starting to get later in the day. We knew rain was going to come in a couple hours. I was hoping, trying to convince them to get up to this section just so we could see some things a little bit better, get some views, but in the end we decided to turn back. And so what we did, you're not going to see this much in the video, but we turned around, and I think my camera died some point around here. But we did follow the trail back, and I mean, the trail's a lot better taking this path. So the moral of the story, if you're going to do this trip, I would take this trail and stick left. Even though it wraps around and takes longer, this trail's fairly clear. I will give you some warnings. Definitely in this section here, there's a fairly large waterway that you have to pass. I think I was actually over here. I don't think these GPS coordinates are very accurate, but over here there's like a creek that you have to pass over, and the bridge that was there is kind of washed out and destroyed. So there were some logs that cross over that creek that we used to get over it. So just know that you're going to be crossing multiple creeks, okay? And it's quite swampy, and if there's bugs there, it would be miserable. And it's tough trekking. It's not clear brush. So tougher than a lot of the other trails I've done. So I think the plan would be, you know, once you get to here, this area, you can see this creek. You can hear it running. It's a fairly decent size, and you could, I think the other video, they must have followed this creek up through this sort of canyon here, and kind of use that as your guide. I'm sure once you get to this area, you can see this big bowl up here. And you'll see that in our video where we were able to see this bowl from lower down on the trail. But once you get up to here and up onto this plain, this is the goal. It's epic. You can walk on this peak. You can see back here. You can see to these snow-covered glaciers over here, and probably could see into there. Very epic getting up here. So I hope one day to show a more thorough video, but that's just the backdrop. These red lines are just distance. I put distance lines here, and I think this line is like 2.5 kilometers. This line is like 2.5 kilometers, and this line is like 2 kilometers. So I think it's something like 6 or 7 kilometers to get to the peak from the highway. So overall, I think it's like 12 kilometers to do the full round trip. But if you take these longer paths, it's going to take longer. That's just if you took a straight line. So you can gauge that. It is pretty tough hiking to get through there. So, you know, take the easy part down here and then save your energy for hiking up this section here. And it is all fairly thick brush. So that's it for now. Thanks.